It's a great day, guys, and we are live. Big ups to everyone who has been a part of this project from day one up until now. So yes, this is the time to invite all your friends and everyone who has anything to do with your children. Because no child is safe until every child is safe. So one greeting to all of you out there on YouTube. It's an incredible day. This is Amaka Omo-Oikeh. I am the convener of the Disruptive Parenting Summit. Today is day number 17. We are on a 30 days journey. You know, sometimes you're like, did I announce 30 days? Maybe you're coming to that reality on the 5th day. I have 25 days to go. But sometimes, somehow, when you get to the 17th day like this, you just know that you're in second half. That's 50% already, or 60% thereabouts. So you're feeling cool. All right? So it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful evening today. I want to welcome every one of us to this platform. Let me use this opportunity to say a big God bless you to everyone who have been on this platform. We have had an incredible time. In fact, to say incredible is for the lack of a better word. We have had all kinds of masterminds pass by here just to assert and to, add their voice to ensure that our children are raised as champions and our kids are raised as kings. And so it's beautiful to be here, and I'm excited to making this investment into the next generation. It's my prayer that everyone who have been on this platform and everyone who will be here, when posterity is mentioned, you will be rewarded for this investment that you're making. In Jesus' name, amen. So like I said, today is the 17th day, and we are hosting someone who is very dear to my heart and who is very close to our family. In fact, someone who we regard as family. Right? Before we get into the real deep or proper, disrupting a bit of the background. Disruptive parenting started with a disruptive parenting book. In fact, today I look back with the benefit of hindsight, and I thank God that the first time I set out to write this book, I didn't eventually launch it with the first name. I am excited that eventually we came to this point that God laid us, and we are calling this project the Disruptive Parenting Project. And so when I gifted our world with the Disruptive Parenting book last year, first time I sent out the manuscript, and the editor said, hey, send me a chart to say this book must have a course. And I'm like, a course? How? Right? But it gave me an encouragement. And, she's not someone who is not one who is our age grade, our mates. So it's someone who is way older than I am. So sometimes, it's not sometimes, all the time when I have the privilege of gleaning from gray hair, I pay close attention. So eventually we started the Disruptive Parenting Academy, and then we have even run the Disruptive Parenting, the South African edition. I had all kinds of incredible men and women pass by to share their wealth of knowledge. And so I am excited that today on this journey, this premier edition of the Disruptive Parenting Summit, we are hosting someone I treasure, someone I respect, someone that We work together on many fronts, and I know that himself and his family, his wife, who I called my sister, they are committed to the next generation, doing a lot of things, to make sure. In fact, I will be right if I call them nation builders. All right. So today we are going to be hosting Pastor Omoh-Oikeh himself. A bit of a background of who he is. He's let me start by saying he's very unassuming. He's very unassuming. So you see him and you're like, who is this person? Wait until brain work is sought. Wait until those things, kingdom matters come. You will have a bit of an understanding, right? So he's a family life practitioner. He's a marriage mentor. We both, if you are connected to TIMFA, both of us, it's like this is coordinators session, right? We were both premier coordinators of the Lagos State alumni for the TIMFA. That TIMFA is the Institute for Family, TIMFA, the Institute for Marriage and Family Affairs, USA, right? So both of us were the premier coordinators for Lagos region. Today we're excited that I think we have up to 6 or thereabout coordinators now, but we just used to be one region, and we're excited at what God is doing with that mandate. So it's an honor to be hosting you here today, sir. And then, like I said, he's so unassuming. I didn't used to know that he's a security expert. Maybe because he likes coded things. All right? And then there's this side of me that loves security. Way back in secondary school, one of the things I used to desire to read was criminology. So if I had read anything around that law or something, I would have majored on criminology. And watch it, I probably may just go back to school to go and read criminology, because something about, I don't like the shouting security. I like the part that is coded, right? So I understood it when I eventually, but I was blown away. You will be blessed today to have him on this program. So it's with, if you are here, let me mention, please like our video, click the subscribe button. At least click the subscribe button now, so that ministry can go to permanent site. Anyway, so click the subscribe button, and please share. If there's anybody that you love, because virtually everybody wants to have children, but it's their level of commitment that we're not too sure of. And so people just have children because they got married, and then they're not, doing the things that they should do, which is why this is very important. I look around and I notice the level of insecurity in our world today. Yes, we have Boko Haram, kidnapping, ritualists, and all of that to deal with in Nigeria. But globally, there is serious insecurity. So wherever you are watching us from, you're logging in from today, you are on the right or at the right place, right? Please, let's take this serious. If you don't have writing materials, get your writing materials. You're going to be getting some instructions today that you need to be carrying out as you work with your children. The security of your family is extremely important. It's on this note that I welcome our very own Pastor Wing. He's also a pastor, yes. Pastor Omoh-Oikeh to Disruptive Parenting Summit Premier Edition 2022.
Wow, I am so delighted to be here. Wow, I would have loved to see you study that your criminology, so that we'll use you for lots and lots of undercover jobs,
Yes, bro.
All right, thank you so much. You are really doing amazing work, and I pray that nations will continue to hear your voice. It's really been amazing work you've been doing, and I'm so delighted that we have people like you that are determined to ensure that our nation becomes a better place. Despite the insecurity that we are going through, we see all of no place is safe around. But as much as we can, you need to make your environment safe yourself. So much more, you have a lot of roles to play. Today, well, I'm a pastor. I won't deny that. But today I won't be speaking as a pastor, but maybe a bit of my pastoral area could come in. But I'll be speaking as a security specialist, which is my core area of specialization. Disruptive Parent has been an institution that wants to restore joy, peace, and happiness in every home, which is very, very critical. The people that are disturbing the Boko Haram of today, the people that are responsible for cultist activity, the people that are responsible for kidnapping, the people that are responsible for all sorts of criminality that you can talk about, that you can remember, they are products of a home. So when we get it wrong from the home, our nation will continue to be in jeopardy. We'll continue to experience problems. So for today, I will start by saying an effective security system. Today, we'll be looking at disruptive parenting with focus on child security. Child predators are everywhere, either we like it or not. They are everywhere. They are everywhere. So, but today, I'll be talking basically on child security. An effective security system, when it's put in place, will do 4 things for you. Number one, it will deter intrusion. It will deter criminals away from you. Then number two, it will detect crime. An effective security system should be able to detect crime. And also an effective security system should be able to delay criminals. Then lastly, an effective security system should be able to give you opportunities to respond. While those criminals are being delayed, you call for help and rescue will come. So this is one of the reasons why even when God created the first home, that's in the Garden of Eden, God noticed and God thought that in the course of this journey, there is every likelihood for an intruder to come in. And so that was why God said, okay, Adam, you must be in charge of this garden. And now, this man, Adam, happens to be the first ever security manager in the history of this generation life. So, and unfortunately or fortunately, an intruder came into that garden. And who is that intruder? That's in the person of Satan, serpent. He came to deceive the woman, and the security system that was in place was circumvented. And for that reason, that is where we are here today. So today, I will try as much as possible to roll out some tips that will help us as parents, that will help us as a nation, and that will help us as every individual. Number one, we talk about situational awareness. Situational awareness. Now, what do we mean by situational awareness? As parents, are you even aware of what is happening around your locality? Do you know what is going on in your neighborhood? Do you know what is happening in your state? Do you know what is happening even in the country at large? So when you are not aware, you are bound to run into criminality. So it is very, very critical. We know the issue of Deborah issue in Sokoto State that is trending right now. I won't go into full details. That is really, really happened. You know, Deborah issue in Sokoto State right now, like I said. And if we are not going to forget so soon, we had 2 major security-related events that happened in 2 major schools. I'm not going to mention the names, in Lagos recently, and which led to the school being shut down. those children, now, one of them left a particular floor to another floor. So now, who is the caregiver that was supposed to monitor that individual in form of a security on her? Because the family, the school, the parent has vested that right or that role or that responsibility to you at that moment, to the school at that moment, but the school lets them down. Anyway, that's not where we are going today. But again, situational awareness is very, very important. We need to know what is happening around us. For the purpose of this program, I actually carried out a survey in Lagos, Owerri. That's Owerri in Imo State, in the southeast part of Nigeria, and in Delta State in the south area of Nigeria. Now, I took my time to ask few children, age range from 9, 10 to 18. I was asking them, how many of you go through security discussion in your home? Now, it will shock you to get what I find out. I said, how many of you go through survey awareness on the security awareness at home? Especially, most of us, we run through our devotion, fine, super, excellent. But how many of us take time to take our children through security session? Issues that happen in the locality that you are aware of. Issue that happens around your office. How many of you? So these are my findings. I interviewed 50 children in Lagos, Delta, and Abuja, Imo State, and River State. Now, 90% of these children that I interviewed, they told me that they have never had such session at home. So now tells you, if they've never had that kind of session, they are the number one vulnerable. They are vulnerable. So they are exposed. So how many of us have that? So 5% said, well, once in a while, my parents talk about it. When issues happen and they talk about it, we get to learn from it. That is number 2. Then 2% emphatically mentioned that, oh, my dad will always talk about it. He will always tell us what happened, when and where and how. So as a result of that, they do a lot of discussion around that. Now, what happened to the 3%? Now, look at it. We have 90% that have never heard that before. So what's their faith? What's their faith? So this tells me that we all have our phones, we all have our laptops, we all have all our mobile devices. We take more pleasure in holding them. So much more, as we place more pleasure, we give more attention to them. So we should give more attention to security in our home. There are some houses around that once you get to that neighborhood or you get to a particular home, you can actually open their gate and walk in. That is wrong. It shouldn't happen. What am I trying to say? The access control to your house, that is your door, your gates must be under lock and key at every point in time. So whoever is coming to check on you should be able to give you a call or probably hit the gate or probably press a bell that you position outside the gate for somebody to go and acknowledge or identify whoever is at the door. It is very, very important. So what am I trying to say? While we are doing our devotion time, we can also chip in a bit of security. Your children should be able to identify who a stranger is. Now, an incident happened recently, even in a place of worship, somewhere in K2 area of Lagos. These two gentlemen walk into a place of worship and lure 2 children out of that environment. But unfortunately, or fortunately for the individual, an elderly and someone stopped him and said, "Oh, where are you taking these children to? Who are they? Who are you? And why do you want to take them? Where are you taking them to?" So at that point, the guy was jittering, and his sentence were, he couldn't say any other thing again because he knew someone has caught his mission. So before you know it, they have to call the attention of the parent who was in the church, busy dancing, not knowing where the children are. Before you say Jack, they got this guy arrested and he was handed over to the police. Another same event happened somewhere in a school in Ogba. Similar event in a school in Ogba, where someone came all the way from Ibadan to come and kidnap children from a renowned school in Ogba. So things happen. So number one, what am I trying to say? We must ensure that our gates are locked. Gates, your doors are always locked. So whoever is coming in to check on you should be able to call you, like I said, or should be able to knock the gate or press the bell, then to call your attention to it. Now, I've told you, children are vulnerable, and child predators, they are everywhere. They are everywhere, and they won't put it on their forehead that this is who they are, but they try to be friendly. That's how you know them. They try to be friendly, and as parents or as individuals, we must ensure that our children goes through knowledge of how to identify a stranger. They should be able to identify. These are some of the things we should discuss when we are having a security session or when we are having a briefing session. It is very, very important. It could be once in a month. You could arrange that once in a month. It could be probably once in a week. And it could be probably every 2 weeks. Just share. Ask your children when they come back from school. You can even get some idea from these children, because some things happen around their school environment which they should be able to share with you or with everybody to learn from. So the access to your house must be well guarded. It must be well guarded. You don't allow a stranger into your house. And again, I want to talk about this password or secret code. That's another tip that will help us as parents. Password and secret codes. What does that mean? I'm sure I mentioned earlier that some of us, we have phones, we have laptops, we have our desktops. From time to time, we change those passwords. Why do we change those passwords? Why do we put fingerprints on our device? Just because we don't want unnecessary interruption. You don't want somebody that is not authorized to gain access to it. So also this kind of system can also help our home. How will this help? Ensure you tell your children that if at all I'm going to send anybody home to come and deliver a message, or I'm going to send somebody to come and pick you from school, or I will send someone to come and pick you from your place of worship. When that person comes, you should ask that person for a code. And this code can just be something very simple. It doesn't have to be very difficult. Just tell them, okay, when Mr. A or when someone comes that you are not familiar with, that says is from your mom or is from your dad, you should be able to, okay, what's the code? Did my mom give you any code? Did my dad give you any code? So by so doing, you will know whether this person is actually from your parents or is actually he has a different ulterior motive. It is very, very important. The coding system, the password system really, really help. By so doing, when you ask for a password or a code, the individual will know that, oh, I've missed it. And at every point in time, before you know it, the person will try to escape. And if you are not going to send anybody to them, let them know. If they have a mobile phone, pick your phone and call them. Oh, hello, my son or my daughter. The program has changed. So for that reason, I will be coming to pick you myself. I'm not going to send anybody to pick you. So let them know. It's very, very important. So that they will know if a stranger comes around. With that, they will be able to defend themselves. at every point in time. For our children, the area must be properly secured so children will not wander around. When our environment is well secured, our children will be safe. Strangers will not be able to gain access to them. And again, one thing we need to encourage our children about is there are lots and lots of tracking apps that can be programmed into their phone if they have one. And there are lots and lots of devices that you can even program into their body. You know, there are some items, a device that you can actually put in your pocket or you put in their bag, in their school bag, for you to track them. Those things are very readily available in markets. They are not too expensive. So by so doing, you will know where your children are at every point in time. The strangers shouldn't just gain access to them at any time. So the tracking app will definitely help. When they are in school, when they are in church, when they're in place of worship, they should remain indoor. It is very important. These are some of the things we will discuss. You must let them know. You know, children are more vulnerable because they feel everybody that comes around them means well. But when you give them this situational awareness of what is happening in and around them, then they will be able to know and say, oh, wow. When someone is trying to be unnecessarily nice to you, or when someone is trying to be unnecessarily kind to you, they should be able to see the red flag. They should be able to know that, oh, this is a red flag. Who is this person? I don't know him. Why is he being nice to me? Why is he presenting candy to me? Or why is it offering me some fantastic thing for you know? Those are red flags that our children need to know that something is about to happen. In that kind of situation, they should be able to create a scene. Shout as loud as you can, as loud as your voice can take you. Create attention. Because those guys are not, or whoever is that intruder is, they are not willing or they are not ready to allow anybody to know their motive. So they always want easy targets, get whatever they want to get, and escape from the scene. And before you know it, they are off, they are out. And we must always educate them on no account should they walk with strangers. On no account should they move with strangers. When someone you don't know comes around, or they try to force you into their vehicle, as much as you can, shout. It is very, very important. By so doing, you will draw attention. And when attention is drawn to them, they want to run away. And the code and the secret password that I talked about the other time, they are not to be shared with their friends. Those are things that should be known to them alone. They should be known to them and to you as the mother or the father or the parent. They should not share it with their friend or external persons. And like I said, it can be anything simple, it can be anything personal, and it can be something very, very cheap that nobody can ever think of. And this password or code system can be reviewed from time to time. Because in the course of you talking to them, there's every likelihood that someone might eavesdrop or hear or get to know those passwords. So by so doing, you change those things from time to time, just like we change our passwords on our phones, we change our password on our systems to ensure that we make it more complex for intruder to get access to it. It is very, very important that we should take note of all these things. So statistics have shown to us that children are more vulnerable. Why? Because they want to trust everybody. They believe you can't hurt me. Now, look at the fate of the 90% that have never had any issue around security in their home. So anybody can lure them. They are vulnerable. They are exposed. And before you know it, the whole world. In UK, there are reported cases of missing persons. That is a system that had a working good system. In the US, there are thousands of missing persons reported. The statistics, I read a statistic that was released around 2009 and 2010. Over 15,000 children were reported missing alone in UK. Then in South Africa, 1 in every 5 children get missing every five minutes in South Africa. So these are some of the things that we need to be very aware of. We just have to know what is happening around our home. We need to understand how these guys operate and share this same information with our family, and it will go a long way to help us and to put our home in a very peaceful way. And again, I need to let you know this, that every home, at every point in time, you must review and discuss important telephone numbers with your children. Do they know the security contact to call when there are issues? If you have any issue around your home, do they know who to call? Have you ever tried to find out from your children if they even know your own telephone number? You know, at the time when there are issues, maybe there's a crisis around, you may be agitated, but they must remain calm. You must educate them on how to remain calm at all times. No matter what the gravity of what is happening, you must remain calm. When there are issues, pick up your phone, call XYZ. This is the number you have to call. And let them have those numbers stored in their phone. Let them have it stored in their phone. They should be able to know who the security man in your neighborhood is. When they are unable to those are things that will really help in the case of an emergency. They need to know all that. Then, as a family that has good security system, or that have the awareness of security system, you must sustain what works for you, for your family. There are homegrown systems that you must have shared with your children and that is working perfectly well. Good. If you have such system, please sustain it and continue to embrace security. It is very, very important that we get to know all these things. Security is everybody's business. It is not a responsibility of the caregiver alone. They have a role to play, but much more, how long does our children stay in school? Probably they are in school for 8 hours, and the rest hours out of 24 hours, they are back home. So they should be able to know important telephone numbers. Can you beat your chest that in the case of an emergency, your children knows what to do? If they don't know what to do, then you need to begin to educate them on the importance of security, of what they need to know, discuss it. And so many organizations also run this kind of system in the offices, and they always encourage them to always share this information with their family and friends. By so doing, you are performing the role of, you are performing the duty of care to your nation, to your family, and to your friend. It is very, very important. We must always have safety and security guideline discussion with our children. It is very, very important. Like I said earlier, it could be on a monthly basis, it could be on a weekly basis, it could be on probably 2 weeks. Maybe, well, most parents will tell you, I'm too busy to do that. You are home on Saturday. You could just organize a 30-minute session with your children and share security events that happen around. By so doing, consciously, you are planting security subconsciousness into them. By so doing, they become a better person, and our nations becomes a better place. It is very, very key and important for us to know all this. So, lastly, I just want to give these tips also, that kidnappers are everywhere. Ritualists are on the increase. In fact, in the Southwest, this is the raining thing. In the Southwest, it's really, really raining. Ritualists, some part of Lagos, some part of Ogun State, some part of Ibadan. That is the raining thing that is happening there. And we need to keep our children aware. As much as we can, avoid any night outing. Our children should not even be encouraged to do that. As much as we advise even adults not to move out as early as possible in the morning, avoid it if it is very possible for you, and avoid late night movement. Most of these incidents that are reported happen at this time of the day. Lekki axis is becoming, that used to be a reserved area. The Ikoyi axis, that used to be a very peaceful area, is now becoming the den of criminality. We have cases of kidnapping that happened on the road of Lekki Admiralty Way in Lekki. We have cases of kidnapping that happened 2 days ago, somewhere around Ikoyi, just 2 days ago. So you can imagine the trauma, or you can imagine the situation that one will go through when you receive a call and you realize that your son or your daughter has been kidnapped. And these daredevils are so mean that even most times they attack homes. They attack homes. So as much as we can, we just have to ensure that we are security conscious. When you are security conscious, you will definitely stay safe. So that's what I have to share tonight. And I hope I've been able to just share part of my beats. Don't forget, red flag is very, very important. If someone that they are not aware of or they don't know, stop them trying to be unnecessarily nice. Those are red flags that should tell them that something is wrong. And as much as they can, lonely road should not be an option for them to walk through. When you notice that an environment is so lonely, avoid those routes. Tracking devices are available that will help. You can put them on their phone. You can actually get some that you can actually put in their bag or you put in their uniform, and with that you'll be able to track them. They are battery enabled. So with that, you'll be able to know the whereabouts of your children at every point in time. It is very, very important. So that's what I have for you tonight, and I hope that makes some sense.
Thank you so much. Makes a lot of sense. Like the jingle we say, be security conscious. Life is precious. Anyway, security is everybody's business. It's your business. It's my business. It's no longer their business. There was a time when it looked like kidnapping, bombing, the security was too far away from Lagos for those who live in Lagos. But the way it is now is really frightening and traumatizing. And it's a situation you don't even wish your enemy. So let's do our bit to make sure that our children are always in a safe place. Teach them there's no time that's too early for anybody to learn what is right. Those things that you're teaching them today, they will eventually use it even as adults. right? Don't be a night crawler. Again, it still goes back to that when we say model what you want to see in your children. If you're telling them not to walk lonely path, don't walk lonely paths, right? If you're telling them to whatever it is that you want them to learn, children learn more by what they see. Particularly Generation Z and Generation Alpha children, they are visual. They are visual. They learn more by visual. So let them see you do those things. And please, let's have those conversations. You know, like 10 years ago, this having security conversations with our children was not needed, so to speak. All right? At that time, you would think it's too much information. But it's no longer like that. It's like when we started advocating for basic sexuality education, it looked like, how can you be teaching children sex? Until they continued over and over to suffer abuses. Some of them raped to death. But that's something someone can begin to do. They will know that this person is a predator. They will know that there are certain things they will see. They will know that this person is a potential pedophile. All right, that's how it is when you enter security proper. Please, let's take care of our children. Guys, let's make Coach Benga feel warm and appreciated. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you. It's glad to have you. We're excited for this knowledge that you brought. We'll just take 1 or 2 questions and we'll be done for the day. Please, whilst you are speaking, something just struck me. In one of our sessions, we have agreed that boarding school is poor parenting because it is delegated parenting. All right. Well, because it's delegated parenting, so it is poor parenting, right? 6 years is too much to just hand the children over to somebody else. First, once we were speaking, I thought, right? How about people who have children in boarding school? What conversations do they need to have with their children to prepare them for that safety? Even whether they are going back to school, maybe during holiday time, what do they need to know? What does an average boarding school student need to know?
All right, that's a fantastic question, really, I must confess. Let me start by saying nobody will train your children better than you do. And the value system should begin from home. When your children are well tutored from home, you know, they will not spend all their life in boarding school. But the good thing about some boarding schools today is that they have some good system, and it's just that few of them let down their guard. For instance, the recent incident that happened, let me just take a clue from that. There happened to be a caregiver that accompanied these children out of the country. Now, when this little lad was moving from the floor where she was meant to be, and she went up as far as a higher floor, who accompanied her there? So you see, the delegating parenting that you're talking about, you delegated your responsibility as parents. Agreed, you can't go with them. So somebody somewhere has not done what they should have done. And again, we shouldn't forget the fact that some of these children are too smart. They want to play around your intelligence. Yeah. Someone might just tell you, okay, I want to go and use the restroom, whereas they are far away from where they are meant to be. So some schools, some boarding schools actually have this as part of their curriculum. They educate their children, but much more, their workers and their students, But much more, they say charity begins at home. Whatever values, whatever belief system you imbibe into your children will go with them wherever they go. So even when someone is trying to push them on the right track, they will be bold to tell you that, no, this is wrong. You don't do it this way. No, that's not right. So, that is what parents should do. You must build their confidence. You must strengthen them to be bold, so that when someone is asking them to do contrary to the value system you have built, to the positive value system you have, they won't go out of it. It's not a crime. It's not a sin to send your children to boarding school if you can afford it, but much more. For instance, many of us, I didn't go to boarding school.
Yeah.
My wife she attended boarding school, and today she came out well. And many children attended boarding schools and they came out well. So, but then you will not compare the time then with the present generation. Things are changing every day. But much more, the home should be the base where those values should be built. When the mother or the father is not available to build those values, then they will learn the value outside. And whatever value they learn outside, it will be surprising to you that they will bring those values home. And when they bring those values home, it clashes with your value. Then you should be able to question your children. No. This is not allowed there. This is not allowed there. This is not allowed there. So that's what I can say to that.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Please, when you're taking your children to boarding school, be sure of the boarding school. Again, you see, we were talking about this yesterday. Don't just register your children in a school because the school, quote unquote, is involved. Ask for their values. Ask for what they believe, what their mission statement is, what their vision statement is. There are security systems, the Child Safety Act, that every school is supposed to have. Please make inquiries and be sure that the school where you're taking your children to, they or even accept those acts. Okay? And then if your child is in boarding school, I think also that personally, if you can, reach to the chief security of that school and collect the number and give your child. There are certain things we do sometimes. It will even make the school authorities know that you are aware. Because people are afraid of intelligent people. When you present that you know what you're doing, you're not just passing by. It helps those people to put their checks and balances in place. With the way things are going now, don't just register your child in a school and walk away. Find out, particularly if it's in a boarding school, who is their doctor and how good is the doctor. Find out. All right.
Sorry, if I may chip in something here, something came to mind now. At the point I had to push my son into a boarding school, for a reason. And at that point, I was closely monitoring what was happening in the school. When I noticed that they are not living up to what I was expecting to see, I had to pull him out. Because, see, when you hand over your children to a caregiver, do you do some surprise visits? Do you go to the school environment to check from time to time to see what is happening around the school, even at hard time? You know, sometimes you might just need to just drive around just to have a feel of what is going on around the school premises. By so doing, some things will be, you get some first-hand information and you will get some first-hand experience. There are times when, I remember when I was in secondary school, some students will come to school with their bag and have some clothes in their bag. After close of school, you see them change up and off they go. Where are they going? You don't know until you begin to see them dropping out of school because of excesses. So those things will really, really help. It's not enough to put your children in school. Much more. You are paying. You should be able to ask questions.
Yeah.
Let them know you know what you are talking about. And when you are not satisfied with what you are getting, it is not a crime to pull your children out. And there are good schools around. Definitely there are good schools around with good values, with quality values that will work hand in hand with the value that you have. That's what I have to say. Thank you.
Yes, fantastic. I think that, okay, so because I'm a child care expert, right? I realized that the school where our girl attended, the schools that she has attended, they're a lot more careful. When they just know that you know, you're not doing it, you're not throwing yourself on them. But there are certain questions that you will just ask. Let me mention this as we round off, right? When your child is in a school, whether boarding or day, pay attention to the way other children in that school are treated. Because that's exactly how your child will be treated when you are not there. Don't say it's not my child. Don't say they can't treat my child. No.
No, they
in
will.
your absence, they will deal with your child.
Absolutely.
Also check any school where the teachers or anybody in management is a bully. Once you have a bully in management, they will threaten to your child to the point where even the fear of the person will begin to affect their academic performance. I said that to mean that pay attention, don't sweep anything under the carpet. It could be dangerous in the times that we live in. Don't sweep anything under the carpet. And sincerely, I think that as much as possible, or else you're very sure, as much as possible, if your child is in boarding school, be sure that it's the school, or otherwise have everything. And that doesn't mean that children cannot go off from their homes. But it just means that if that child is constantly with you, it's easier. If it's something you need to see a therapist, you will start seeing the therapist early. If it's something you need to meet a counselor, you start seeing the counselor early. If something you need to pray about it, you see it early. All right? Because most of this, what's it called? Courts, secondary school courts that we have now, is within that court that they set up their ritualist group. It is from there they set up all their kidnapping, whatever. If your child knows that mommy is going to come and pick me, or daddy is going to come and pick me by 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, and is dropping me in school the next morning, even if they're having a conversation, it will start truncating those conversations. It could be delayed, like he said, and you can leverage on that period of delay to find out what's going on. Rather than just leaving them and they get into the hostel and have a full night. Light is very long. I heard as a child that when somebody is sick, you realize that night is very long, right? If hell is after a child who is in a boarding school, a lot of things can happen between 9 o'clock. That is night time out for those who do 9 o'clock. That is light out till maybe 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. We're just saying to mean that do your part as a parent, as a caregiver. Do your part. Do not leave all the responsibility to God. God has trusted you and I with these children. Again, let me remind us, that there is a king in every kid, that is a champion in every child. Raise the king, raise the champion. Right? Thank you very much, sir. Okay, I heard that you're online. There are a couple of things that you're doing. Where do we find you online? And what are your handles, websites, and all of those?
Okay. Well, I am into a private security business, and I just want to leave it simple that way. You can always reach me through the Disruptive Parenting. Easily, you can get across to me through that. So let me keep it simple. So whoever wants my attention, talk to Sister Madam Maka. She will definitely reach out, and my contact is available. I can always use my contact, so she will do that to you, and we'll be able to talk. But security is very, very critical. It's important, and like I said earlier, those things that work for you, please sustain it. There are homes that have some fantastic security knowledge, and which they don't play with. So your homegrown method, knowledge, and ideology that have been effective, please don't downplay it. Sustain it. And again, if you have not been doing it, ensure you create a forum where you can educate your wards, your children on things that are happening around. Let them be involved. Let them be aware. Let them be able to identify who a stranger is. Let them be able to know when a predator is around. Let them be able to know when someone is just being unnecessarily nice to you. Those are red flags. When someone is trying to force you into a vehicle, raise as much voice as you can. Draw attention. And those are the things that those predators are not ready to see. And again, it may surprise you that some of these people are family members.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you so much for the opportunity to be on this show, on this platform. I appreciate you, and we'll continue to work together.
Thank you so much. God bless you guys. It's on this note that I come to the end of the program for today. I'm excited that we are here, and then we have come to the end of the 17th day, and I am excited. So we'll continue tomorrow. Please make it a date. If you have not shared, please go ahead and share. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, kindly subscribe and also invite your friends. Click the like button and then touch the bell so that whenever we come on, you will be notified. That is the notification bell. Thank you again for joining us. This is Disruptive Parenting Summit, Premier Edition, and I am your host, Amaka Omo-Oikeh. Have a lovely evening.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.